Good morning, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Tuesday morning, December 17th. And first, let me apologize for no video yesterday. In short, my 19-year-old daughter had her tonsils taken out a week ago Tuesday, and instead of getting better, her pain has done nothing but increase to the point where she couldn't even swallow her own spit. So the doctor told us to bring her in last night. They checked her in, did a lot of tests. So far, everything seems normal, but they wanted to manage her pain overnight. So hopefully that's all this is, and she'll start turning the corner rather quickly. But thank you to all who have reached out. Really appreciate it. So when I got home last night and was sitting here after 11 p.m., I was looking at a bunch of things, and you get a chance when it's nice and quiet. So I want to go over a couple of things before we get to today's action. And the first thing is, when I was doing my homework and I'm writing down, I always break down the monthly, weekly, daily. And they're all up, obviously. But the thing I wrote down also, and I believe this is the first time I ever wrote it, so this is fact one, that the gap is my main focus. And I said that in the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. I don't believe I've ever said that all at one time when doing my homework. So that's something of an anomaly. Number two, despite all time frames being up and all these gaps, we have not had a trend day hold since October 25th. So almost 2 months, right? Over a month and a half. And that was at the price of around 303. So we're up 5%. Actually over 5% in that time frame with not one set of single prints holding. So that's fact two. So now here's observations. What does that mean? Usually when a trend is getting old, getting tired, getting long in the tooth, you get less and less distance away from the previous highs and whatnot. And not having single prints, you would think, would signify that. However, when we look at the charts, we're looking at the monthly. We came out of balance in the monthly, and now we're one time framing up, and we still have the gap. Same on a weekly. We one time framed up 8 weeks. Nice balance, which lasted only a week, but it certainly was a balance. And now one time framing up 2 weeks with a gap. And the same on the daily. Keep gapping higher, balance, and continue to go higher as we're one time framing up 4 days. So is this trend getting tired or old? Well, looking at these charts, the answer to me is no, absolutely no. It's not getting old yet. You'll start getting overlapping value. You'll start getting days that are on top of each other, come into balance, and then go bear. Remember, markets don't go bull bear. They'll go bull, balance, continue bull, or bull, balance, and then bear. We can go down 1,000 points today and we're still in balance. So to me, the trend is not getting long in the tooth yet. So what is going on with these lack of trend days? Well, to me, what's changed is the dynamic of the intraday. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's now go to the profile. For a good part of 2019, this market has opened. We've formed our initial balance in A and B back and forth through the open. And then from that point, slowly did our old grind higher, right? Even having some single print and some trend days, but it grinded higher. And then you'd get that inventory adjustment or that quick flush to the downside. That's not been the case recently. Look at these. Just look at the last 3 days. Actually, look at more than the last 3 days. We can go back, starting December 6th. Look what has happened. And this is why we haven't had trend days and where the dynamic has changed. Look at A and B over the last 6-7 days. We haven't opened and grinded higher in our initial balance. We've opened and drove higher on the 26th, on December 6th, December 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Last 6 days. And if we keep going back, I could probably find more. And then what's happened, we've traded sideways. And instead of the usual grind slowly up, flush out, we've had melt up and then a grind down. We're not getting even the flush out. It's like pulling teeth when this market even comes in because there's no real sellers. So the trend isn't slowing, but the dynamic of the intraday certainly has changed. And so what does that mean? Well, it's important. Until the buyers can prove to me that they can get at least one set of single prints, let alone 2 or 3, which we've been used to in the past, if you're not in early on any of these days, for the most part, you're missing out, number one. And number two, your risk grows a lot more when you buy it later in the initial balance, right? Look at these. You can go through all 6 days, and for the most part, that's the case, right? That wasn't the case on the 10th. We opened, drove down, then went up. So that's what's changed. And again, until the market tells me differently, that's how you have to look at it. You can be making money on both sides of this market. If you're getting in early on the buy side and then taking it off in B, and then you've basically been able to fade every new high because we don't have one set of single prints throughout the day. So those are observations I've made sitting here at 11, 12 o'clock last night. Okay, as far as today goes, we're in balance in value right now. We have a poor high is our all-time high. Quickly on destinations, all I have on the upside is yesterday's high of 320.15, which is the all-time high and poor high. Now, you should certainly keep an eye on L&M because they both traded at 319.90. Now, I'm not going to use them as an afternoon rally high because they're just too close to the all-time high. However, if we can't take out L&M's high, we're not going to get that poor high. I think we will eventually, but you have to get above L&M first. So I'm only using the all-time high as a destination, but that is certainly something to look at to get above L&M. For my downside, we don't have anything until we get more market-generated information until yesterday's low. Now again, you could use M's low where we traded down to as a reference point. That was 319.49. So if you hold that, then you're going to hold the day's low. So you could use it if you want to get long and if you get back below M, I'd get out because odds are then you're going to go test yesterday's low. So 319.17 is yesterday's low. Fill in the gap, 318.67. That's a 50-tick gap. Then if that fills, we don't have anything until 317.13, which is 11 wide from the 13th. Below that, we have the afternoon pullback low right below that at 317.08, daily low of 316.02. Remember, yesterday's low is 319.17. We had a bad tick at 317.25, $2 lower from the actual low. Usually those bad ticks get hit. Every one I've ever kept track of for this past year have been hit except this one, and there's one back down about 2.5 months ago at 288 and change. So just something to keep in mind. So game plan for this morning. Well, it just hit 8:30, hour to go. We're trading higher than the close as of right now, right below that L&M high. Again, imbalance in values. Did I trade here? Not really. If we're to open and absolutely taper off at L&M's high, maybe I take a put. If you get accepted above it, you know the poor high and all-time high is going to go, and I'd get out. Or if not get out, I wouldn't add on until I see what happens. You might take out the all-time high, but then the question is, what do you get out of it? So it depends on your risk tolerance. If you're short around L&M's high and we go for the high, you can see. If we just pop it and come back in, you could even add on. But it depends on the heat you want to take. So that's one trade I'd possibly take. But again, it's imbalance in value. As far as the call, if we're to open here, imbalance in value, come down and again taper off at around M's low, you can take a call position. If it gets below that, I'd probably get out because odds are you're going to at least test yesterday's low and test the gap. You could always get back in if you get into the gap and you get rejected and right back in A. So those would be the two plays I would look at early this morning. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.